Hello, this is Nursing 692 video for child psychology evaluation for anxiety. I'm Tanya, I'm a student nurse practitioner, and I have Teague here, and her mother gives permission and consent for her to do this video. The only people that will see this video are my classmates and my instructor. Are you okay with that, Teague?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. First of all, can you give me your name and your date of birth?
For my full name, I don't need to.
Yes.
My name's Teague Underwood, and I was born November 17, 2010.
Okay. So how old does that make you now?
I'm 14.
And when is your next birthday?
My next birthday is November.
Okay. Let's see. Well, we're going to talk about anxiety. Do you get nervous sometimes?
Yes, ma'am.
What gets you nervous sometimes?
Like, I think it's mostly like eye-to-eye contact and like just being like a center of attention or anything.
Okay. So if you're in a room full of people, you feel okay. It's just if you're the center of attention, then you get a little anxious.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is that the only things that kind of make you nervous?
Something that makes me nervous sometimes is, well, that's actually
Okay. Let's see. Do you have any social pressures like academic challenges, environmental challenges, family challenges? And does your family have a history of anxiety? Like your mom or your dad or an aunt that's close to you?
I think my mom does. I know she takes medicine sometimes for it.
Okay. Do you sometimes get irritable with people and lash out or get a little violent towards people?
Like yelling wise. Yes.
Okay. So who do you kind of lash out at, and how often does that happen?
Sometimes my friends. It happens a couple of times a day.
Okay. Do you ever use any illicit drugs like marijuana, alcohol?
No.
Okay. Do you have any worries about your school, about grades, anything
Yes,
like
ma'am,
that?
all the time.
Why you worry all the time about your grades?
Because I like to make sure I get my grades good. I gotta stay my GPA online. I want to do some type of sports. You know, I want to stay in beta. I want to stay on top. So.
Okay. Have you ever gotten like a C on your report card?
Yes, ma'am.
And how did you feel about that?
I felt horrible because it was my first C after having A's and B's my whole life. I felt
Okay.
horrible.
When was that time you got that C?
It was in my first C was in the 4th grade. I got it in, I think, math, and then just went downhill from there.
Okay, so did you pick those C's up?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Then dropped it down.
Mm-hmm. And then you pick it back up?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How do you think other people see you?
Some people see me as nice, happy, smile a lot. Some see me mean, sometimes give off a little attitude, and that's really it.
That's understandable. But for the most part, you're a good person. Okay. Regarding being nervous, does it happen like all day long, during the middle time of the day, or at nighttime? When do you feel you're most nervous?
When I'm most nervous, it can happen any time of the day. It just depends on what I'm thinking about most of the time.
But you can pretty much control your anxiety through
Yes, ma'am.
thought, redirecting your thoughts.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Growing up, have you ever had like any learning difficulties, or do you pretty much can grasp things like what the teacher is teaching, like something, a new topic or something in class? You can pretty much grasp it.
Sometimes.
And if you don't, what do you do about it?
I try to ask for help. Go over it a couple times.
Okay. Do you do tutoring?
I used to, but
Okay.
not
You don't need it anymore?
No, ma'am.
That's good. Do you have any trouble focusing in the mornings, midday, afternoon?
Sometimes, but it's usually because something always on my mind, so I just think about it.
Do you mind wander a lot?
Yes, ma'am.
You got to kind of get back into focus.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever taken any medication to help you focus?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have trouble concentrating in class?
Sometimes, if something's hard, or if I just can't focus correctly, I do.
Okay. So what grade are you in now?
I'm in 8th grade.
And how are your grades right now?
I have all E's and like 2 B's, but I'm working to pick it up to all.
That's good. So you're in high school right now. What you think about high school?
Oof, I'm so excited and I'm so nervous at the same time.
Oh, but it's a good nervous time.
Yes, ma'am.
That's good. Do you like going to school?
No, ma'am.
What you don't like about school?
Learning. Just like being there, talk to my friends.
Okay, but as for the work part, you can do without that part.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you miss a lot of school?
No, ma'am. I try to always go to school. Mostly miss school for appointments or if I'm sick.
Okay. Do you have like any separation anxiety from your mom? I know you and your mom are close. Do you have some separation anxiety from her, like to leave her and go to your friend's house or your dad's house, like for a couple of days, couple of nights, so you do have a little separation anxiety from her? Describe that to me. What happens? How do you feel when you leave your mom?
For like a certain amount of time, I just like, depending on where I'm at, I just want to go home. Just want to go talk to her. Just want to laugh all the time with her. Just like being with my mama. Just like being just us two. Don't like a lot of people. Don't like just being away from her. Just like her there all the time.
Okay. Now, when you do leave and go spend time with your dad, because I do know you do that sometimes, how do you feel while you're there with your dad? Do you interact with your dad? And
sometimes. I'm just not as close to that side as I am with my mom's side.
Well, that's understandable, but you try to make the best of it.
Yes, ma'am.
You try to stay the length of time you're supposed to stay.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you ever call your mom to come pick you up?
I did a couple of times, actually.
Did she come pick you up?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, as you get older, do you think you want to try to stay the amount of time you're supposed to stay with your dad?
I'll try again. I used to sometime when I was little, and then I got to that point where I just didn't want to stay. But I'll try, because I got siblings, so, you know, I want to spend time with them.
And you have a good relationship with them?
Yes, ma'am.
And they like you? They love you?
Yes, ma'am.
So how do you get along with your stepmom?
My stepmom, we get along really good. I talk to her, you know. We get along amazing.
Okay, good. Do you have any phobias, like, are you afraid of like spiders, bridges, snakes, dogs?
Definitely spiders. And sometimes height, depending on where I'm at. Like flying, no. But like height where I'm like exposed outside, it terrifies me.
And you're not scared of snakes?
I'm scared of those too sometimes.
Okay. You just stay away from those. Okay. Do you ever feel sad or depressed about something for no reason at all?
No, I really know of. I mean, I try to stay positive all the time. So.
Okay. So you don't really get depressed?
No, ma'am.
Nothing really makes you sad?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do you ever get like ecstatic about something, just over the top excited about something?
Yes,
like what? Give me an example.
Right now, at my moment, my top two right now is about making the track team for middle school, my last track team, and to hope I make the dance team for high school. That's like really what I'm so excited about.
So when are your tryouts?
My tryouts for track are this Thursday, and on the dance team it's a 3-day tryout. It's on the 11th, 12th, and the 13th of February.
Well, good luck on both of them. You've been practicing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good. Have you ever had any thoughts about harming yourself or about any thoughts about dying, anything like that?
No, ma'am.
Never?
No, ma'am.
Okay, that's good. Do you have any behavioral problems at home or at school?
Attitude, that's really mostly what messes me up.
The attitude, okay. All right. Well, I guess pretty much your age, that's most of the top number one for girls. Well, the teenagers, you know. But, you know, you got to kind of check yourself sometimes. Because you don't want to get punished. You don't want to get in trouble. You don't want your devices to get taken away. But if you need help with that, you know, we're here for you. Teenage doesn't come with a guidebook. Do you have any problems sleeping? How's your sleeping pattern?
My sleeping is good, unless I mess it up like one night staying up. And I usually, after that, have to take like a little sleep medicine. And then like a day or two, it goes back to normal.
Okay. Do you leave the light on in your room or the TV on in your room when you get ready to go to sleep?
Sometimes my light's always off. Sometimes my TV's on, running, or it's just off, or it's just like on a frozen type of little place.
Okay. How's your appetite? Do you eat healthy or do you eat a lot of junk food?
In between.
Okay. have any problems under eating or overeating?
Sometimes just when something's so good, I eat too much and my stomach really explodes.
But you don't binge eat or anything like that? Like just constantly eating a lot of food at one time?
No.
Okay. And you don't starve yourself?
No.
Okay. Do you ever look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm too fat or I'm too skinny?
My stomach sometimes, but it's just like a habit after I gained some weight during quarantine, so I just look every once in a while.
Okay, but for the most part, you're satisfied with your figure?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, that's good. Do you have any trouble with your bowel movements? Like, do they normally move every day or every 2-3 days you have a bowel movement? When you poop?
Oh, how much days I poop? How much
Yes.
times? I poop every day.
Okay, that's good. Do you ever have like any involuntary movements of your arms and your legs, like you can't control them, they just move on their own?
Like shaking?
Yeah.
Sometimes, or like after I take like a medicine, like a treatment, a really strong treatment, I have like some shaking on the hand, and been having a little bit of problems in my left hand after I broke it when I was in 5th grade. So sometimes just be acting weak and it shakes.
Okay. Have you ever had like a bad event that happened in your life, like someone close to you passed away?
Last one was my uncle and my great grandpa. I was like in elementary. I was young.
Okay. But you had your mom and your family to depend on. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's see. Have you ever had like an evaluation like this before?
No,
Anyone?
ma'am.
Okay. Have you ever seen like a psychiatrist before?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Have you spoken to a school counselor before?
I have once.
Okay. And what was that regarding?
It was regarding about, it was about a girl. She said I had problems with her, but it was something that was not even remotely close.
Okay, so you all resolved that issue?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Have you ever taken any medications like for depression, anxiety?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So you said sometimes you have a little attitude problem, and sometimes you might lash out at a friend, but do you ever get physically aggressive towards one of your friends?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Have you ever gotten so angry till you wanted to throw something or hit somebody?
Throw something like in the room? Yes, but I hit nobody.
Did you throw something?
Yes, ma'am.
What did you throw?
Some little toys off my little shelf one time.
Did you feel better after you threw it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you haven't gotten any violent behaviors toward anybody?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Let's talk about a little bit about your medical history. Like, do you have any high blood pressure? Are you a diabetic? Like, your blood sugar is too low or too high? Any medical problems at all? Headaches, aches, anything like that?
Besides asthma and stuff.
Okay, so you have asthma, and you take treatments as needed for your asthma?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That's the only medications you ever take?
I also take, I have allergies too. I also have allergy medicine I take, and mostly all my medicine is like mostly with my asthma, and I also had some other stuff when I had eczema, but it's not like that anymore.
Okay. So pretty much as you grew up, you know how your mama take you to the doctor for a checkup as you grew up from a little child, and did the doctor ever say you met all of your milestones appropriately? You never had any developmental issues growing up?
Not that I know of.
Okay. So if someone had to describe you like your friends, since you're close to your friends, would they describe you as nice, happy most of the time, or angry most of the time?
Happy and nice most of the time.
Okay. So ever since you started school, you started out in pre-K or Head Start?
On Head Start.
Okay, ever since you're in Head Start, was it public school or private school?
I always went to a public school.
Okay. And you never had to be put in a class for like slow learners or anything like that? You stayed up to date with your class and everything? Okay. As far as you know, anybody in your family member has any mental issues that you know of, like depression, anxiety, anything like that? Any serious mental issues as far as you know?
Like
schizophrenia, bipolar, those are the
I
serious.
think my aunt does, but we
Okay.
don't talk to her as much, so I'm not sure.
Okay. So who do you live with right now?
My mom,
Okay. You have any siblings with your mom?
no man.
Any siblings with your dad?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How old are your siblings?
My brother just turned 6 yesterday, and I have another brother. He's like it's like 11. He's 11.
Okay, so he's not too far behind you. Does he get on your nerve?
A lot.
Okay, so how would you describe your relationship with your dad and your stepmom?
My dad, I mean, it's not that close, but I mean, like, we're still close. My stepmom, I'm definitely closer with her.
That's something, because usually, stuff that's mom or just. But I'm glad you get along with yours. That means a lot. So when you're at home, I know you feel safe being with your mom. Now, when you're with your dad, do you feel safe?
I do
Pretty
feel
much
safe.
comfortable?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So when you're there with them, everybody's pretty much happy.
Okay.
All right. So how often do you visit them?
It used to be more, like maybe once every week, but like usually go for holidays, sometimes special occasions,
Okay.
trips.
So they're normal visits. That's good. Do you go out of town with them sometimes, like
I
vacations?
I do.
Okay, that's good. So do you remember how old you were when your parents kind of like separated?
That was like before I was born.
Okay, all right. So what type of work does your dad do?
He owns a club.
Okay.
I mean, that's all I really know.
Okay, what about your stepmom?
My stepmom, she is billing coding. I know it has to do something with pharmacy.
Okay.
That's what I know.
All right, and how about your mom?
My mom, she works.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know what to call it. I know she's a tech. She's a tech.
So pretty much financially, you're supported very well financially. You're not missing out on anything that you feel you need growing up financially.
No.
And you pretty much get a lot of what you want.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And emotionally, let's say you have a bad day. When you go home, you can talk about it with your mom.
Emotionally, I do sometimes.
So she supports you emotionally.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have a big or small group of friends?
I have like close friends. I have a small group.
Okay.
But I talk to like a bunch of people.
Okay. But your small group, how many is included in that group?
Like 6.
Okay. Do you feel like if you have an issue or a problem, you could talk to one of your close friends about it, and they'll keep it between you and them?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you ever feel bullied? You ever got bullied at school?
When I was little, I got bullied.
How old were you?
I was like 5,
Okay.
6, or 4 maybe.
And your mom went to school and took care of it?
Yes, ma'am.
So ever since then, now since you're in high school, no one bullies you in high school?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And if they did, would you tell someone? Mm-hmm. Okay. So what do you do for fun? What you like to do for fun?
Like to eat. Like to put on my phone. Like to talk to my friends, my mom. Like to joke around with my family.
Okay, that's good. You have a close family.
Yes, ma'am.
That's good. So you were telling me about sports. So tell me a little bit more about what you're trying out for.
The dance team.
What you like about that?
Oh my goodness. Just like the way they look so happy when they be dancing, and then when like during like halftime football games, they go in the field, they dance in front of everybody. Like their little cute outfits, like the little cute group, like just love it so much, and just wanna try.
So if you do become a part of the dance team, how do you think it's gonna affect your schoolwork? Do you get anxious about how you're gonna have everything situated so that your grades don't fall?
Maybe, depending on how hard the work is. Because I heard it's a little harder, so I probably will.
Okay. Have you ever had any legal troubles? Like you ever got in trouble for maybe shoplifting or something like that? Never? Okay, that's good. No substance abuse? No. Okay. Any firearms in the home? Like, does your mom have a gun in the home?
Yes.
Do you know where it's kept?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Have you ever vaped?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Let's see, I have a personal question to ask you, as if all the other questions weren't personal enough, but this is very personal. Have you ever been abused?
No, ma'am.
Mentally, emotionally, sexually,
No.
physically, by anyone?
No.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, I have a little story I'm going to tell you. And listen to this story, and then you give me your very honest opinion. No opinion is wrong. Okay, there's this man named Mr. Hines. He has a wife that was dying of cancer, and she could die any minute. The doctor says there's this new drug that might save her if he can get it. The drug is made by a local chemist. Mr. Hines tried his best to buy some of the medication from the chemist, but he's charging 10 times what Mr. Hines can afford. So he asked the chemist if he could pay for half now and half later, and the chemist said no. So Mr. Hines was so desperate to get the drug to save his wife that later he broke into the chemist's home and stole the drug. Now, do you think he was right to break into the chemist's home and steal the drug for his dying wife?
In my opinion, I think it was like a 50-50 because, I mean, you broke into something bad, you might go to jail, but he was also doing it for his wife, so he must love her that much to do that. So I think it's like a 50-50.
Okay. I think that's the appropriate answer. I agree with that answer. Do you have any questions for me?
What's she gonna be?
A psychiatric nurse practitioner.
What is that?
It's kind of like a psychiatrist, but I'm going to be on the nurse side of it. I still get to write prescriptions. I get to counsel patients. I get to see, individual patients, like for an hour at a time, and just listen to their problems and assess them, evaluate them, kind of like diagnose them. Yep. Is there anything else you would like to ask or share with me?
I don't even have the questions, sadly. I like to have questions, but I don't have any.
Well, if you have any questions later, you know where to find me.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, thank you so much, Teak.
You're welcome.